everyone, it's me, the Folklore Wolf, and today I wanted to talk about why I lost interest in My Little Pony G5, or My Little Pony Make Your Mark. To those who do not know, My Little Pony has been a very favorite fandom of mine, and a fandom I love to involve myself in and draw fan art and X, Y, and Z. On this channel, it's not mostly a pony-like thing. I will bring it up here and there in the topics I want to rant about, or X, Y, and Z. So, to those who don't know, on my regular channel, I have more pony content, and that channel's Naziricon. And on that channel, you all might have noticed I was really into My Little Pony G5, the movie. And I thought it was really good. I didn't like, really, let me be honest, the plot of the races dividing. It's a good moral, but not handled at best. If you want to watch a movie that teaches it better, I would recommend watching Zootopia. But that's not the point. I'm just going to talk about why in the world I lost interest. And since probably many had noticed, I had not been uploading about the subject. So let's get on with it, shall we? Number 1. The inclusive of media. I'm going to be going up higher to the ranks on what infuriates me most to the lesser ones. This is the lesser one. This is a personal nitpick in my opinion. I don't mind if anyone likes this series. Who cares? Whatever. I ain't a fan of it, but I'm explaining why. The technology usage. I am not going to enjoy a show, really, in my personal opinion. This is just me and my type of tea. I am not going to enjoy a show that makes references to Clip Trot or for TikTok or whatever it is, and it's just going to repulse me. TikTok is like my onion to a vampire. I'm like a vampire and I sit, and then someone hands TikTok at me. I will hiss hysterically at you, and I will lose my wits. I cannot take that app. No. Anyway, I just can't take any social media references in general into a show that was originally not like that. I know, granted, people will make the argument, well, My Little Pony had that in there before. Yes, but a question, was that the main focus? That's not the reason why we liked the story or the characters. We liked the characters because of their development through time, through the show, and the personal attachment we made through that time. That's why I appreciate it. Not because there was overly, phones, and I don't want to sound like a boomer, but it just isn't interesting. And that's one of the reasons why I lost interest. A show that'll interest me is probably something about, love triangles to, serious topics to dinosaurs tearing each other apart, ponies, and wolves. Oh, just make sure that you're not twerking or dancing or anything like that, or I will literally die. So, yeah, that could be just a personal thing for me, but, yeah. Okay, next point. Okay, and now this is where I start to kind of get aggravated. The dumbing down of male characters, it feels like to me. Now, this was an issue in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic as well. You would see a lot of the male characters be portrayed dense or rude or mean. At least it felt like they had some character. Maybe that's a personal bias on my part, but it didn't feel stupid. Let's take Hitch from the new movie. I liked him. He seemed to have a brain, and he seemed to be smart. And yes, he was a little at times, but he actually was a funny character, and I actually grew to enjoy him. He actually became one of my favorite characters in the movie because of his goofy humor and his detective-like antics. I really enjoyed it. And that's why I liked it. And then I felt like that role was replaced by Zip, when in my opinion, she didn't really seem to have any characteristics. This is a nitpick. And I know what would be called, oh, you're sexist because you're saying girls can't do things that males can do. That's not what I'm saying. I'm actually a girl who partakes in male, quote-unquote, hobbies. So, No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, why does the male character have to be dumbed down for the female character? I just don't like that, and I don't like it because it's not fair, it's not being treated correctly, because Hitch is a great character. He didn't deserve to be dumbed down and such. And another character, now this is just out of the male area, is Izzy. She makes me utterly annoyed. Okay, people are going to probably point a gun to my head and strangle me up. And I'm sorry for all the dramatic, expressive behavior I'm doing right now, but please can someone just slowly, I'm going to just put her in a crate, tie her in there, throw her into the Atlantic Ocean, and finally have my peace. Like, I could be called a hypocrite for liking Pinkie Pie. This is just another personal nitpick, okay? It's not really a huge issue with the show. Like, these two topics I'm talking about, the dumbing down of characters and technology one, isn't the big deal. But I am going to be talking about two other topics that I do have an issue with in the show. But basically, at least Pinkie wasn't overly annoying. Like, it feels like Izzy just does something wrong. Like, you'll see and tell your tale. Like, this is a nitpick, okay? This is a personal nitpick. Like, she paints on, Hitch's, station, and she literally doesn't even, like, I know she's an artist. I myself am an artist. But I don't just go onto people's property and just go, hey, I'm just gonna paint this, la-di-da-da. And then she doesn't even get away with, she just gets away with it. It just feels like they always dumb down Hitch and make him get the butt stick, or the stick at the end. But when it's the female character, nope. It's just a personal nitpick that always gets on my nerves in any type of media. Okay, let's talk about the plot twist of Twilight and the Crystals. And this is where I start to get really mad. Future Folklore Wolf here. I wasn't going to originally put this in the video, but I thought I would put it in here because it is something I wanted to mention that recently happened in Tell Your Tale, and it's another reason as to why I also lost interest. And there's also there's 2 points I want to bring up that I forgot, one that I forgot, and just one now. That kind of makes me sad about why they put this kind of stuff into kids shows, and it's another reason why I lost interest. So apparently there's a new episode. The main five try to help Sparky. Sparky, is having issues. They give him all the foods that made him sick, and then I'm covering my ears on this because it makes me feel literally disgusted. He farts on Misty's face. That is literally disgusting and should not be shared in any kid's show. Call me a boomer. I do not care. But in all sincerity, why? Okay, I might not be a person that likes potty humor. Okay, it's nasty, it's disgusting. Little kids like it, I get it. But why? It just feels nasty. And it feels like it's lesser than MLPG4's intelligence. Like, it feels like this show, like, in that area, and any show that includes potty humor like that, just mocks their intelligence. They just think that any show with sparkly unicorns or ponies has to have gross potty humor like that. And it makes me really sad. This isn't a major reason as to why I lost interest in the show, but I thought it was something worth mentioning, as it does upset me when they do put this into shows. Like, okay, when I was younger, I could manage it, but now that I'm older, I don't like it. It's gross. No, I honestly feel disgusted talking about it. Okay, let's get to the other points so I can actually move to my major points as to why I left this show, because this video is probably long enough as it is. Okay, this is kind of an issue with the show, but it doesn't bother me as much as it used to, but I thought it was also possibly worth mentioning. How they act like they never had Earth Pony magic. What do you mean you act like you never had Earth Pony magic? Lauren Foster herself clearly stated it existed. You could kind of see little hints of it too. it wasn't overtly stated, but like in the show, but Lauren said it was. Like, she didn't say it like in the show, but she knew they had a type of magic and they were important for the environment, like the earth, dirt, and harvest. Why was I gonna say harp? Okay, harvest. They were very important for the ecosystem. And honestly, even though we don't give Earth ponies credit, they are pretty important. I need to make more Earth pony OCs. Anyway, it just kind of bugged me how they acted like that it never existed, and let alone in Make Your Mark's plot on how, no offense, Posey was such a jerk and douchebag, and yet she was rewarded for her crappy mentality. Like, she got it in the end. She's like, grrr. Go watch Star Strike. He points it out better than I could, because we'll be here all day. But, like, she was rewarded despite being a douchebag. And I don't think she deserves it for being a douchebag. And it's a headache of a plot. But whatever on that. I hope that I didn't sound too rambly in these. I just had to get these across. Okay, let's get back to the 2 other reasons so I can finally end this video. Okay, this one really got on my nerves. The plot of Twilight and the crystals. Let me be honest, in the movie, at first, I didn't like the whole racism dividing plot because it's been overused. It was used in season 9 to season 1, like a heartwarming tale. Like, you can make a plot about that and it sound really good. Like, look at Zootopia. But in My Little Pony G5, I didn't really like it. That's just my personal opinion. But basically, back to what I was saying. Twilight divided the crystals because of their fighting. Because of the 3 races fighting for some reason, because of Opaline or whatever, she took their magic. I'm sorry, what? I feel like Twilight, even though like she does have her bouts of anxiety, and she can be a bit like nerved at times, and she isn't perfect, I feel like Twilight would come up with a rational plan on what to do. I mean, this did happen in history, and it did happen, in season 9. Honestly, I hate season 9. I want to burn that season. Okay, but basically, I feel like she would know what to do. I'm not expecting Twilight to be perfect, and it sounds stupid when I put so much investment into these characters, but I really appreciate and I love these characters, and I hate seeing them being dissed on. Even though I don't like Misanthropony for personal reasons because of controversy he's been in and such, I do have to agree with one of his points he made on Saber Sparks' video, saying how, I didn't think about this, but what he's saying is true. Twilight is technically disabling a race, like Pegasi, by taking their magic away. Twilight would probably have to know of the consequence of that, and yet she still went through with it. See how this all kind of sounds stupid? I could see the races dividing if it was, like, by someone other than Twilight, because I feel like Twilight would have a smart plan. This whole plot of My Little Pony G5 just hurts my brain, let me be honest. But that's one of the things that got on my nerves, that made me really lose interest in this show. How they dissed on Twilight. And how they think this plot idea works. Sorry if I sound scrambly, it's a real headache to process through. Let's get on to my final point, so I can get this video done with, okay? Okay. The plot with Discord in the comics. Okay, before I get on with it, I do want to say one positive. I will say that in G5, the only things I could say I ever liked about it was the movie. There was some interest in the comics, and I suppose Maritime Bay Adventure is good. I found those more interesting than Tell Your Tale and Make Your Mark combined. In this show, I was hoping they would do more investment into rediscovering Equestria's lore without making it the main focus. Kind of like how G4 did in a way with G1. But I don't know if my expectations were too high, and if they were, that's on me. But yeah, so let's go back to the point. Discord. This, in the comics, really upset me. I know in the end of the comics he becomes good, cause duh. But it really upset me because Discord has went through so much development, from being a chaos-driven villain, to being turned to stone, to being reformed, to going in betrayal, to good again, to betrayal. And I did not like how they did in season 9. You could probably get from this video, I hate that season. But back to the point. Basically, he's a character who has went through so much development. And granted, I know he's a creature of chaos who can relapse back into his chaotic nature. But I feel like after time, and with Fluttershy when she would pass away, I feel like Discord would have held on to what she said and would have stuck with that and not reverted back into his ways, and would have helped the main 5. I feel like that would have been emotional and beautiful, but nope. They have to have him go back to being evil and just have him having a weird thing against magic, apparently. It just doesn't feel in his character, and it just upsets me because it feels like they just go back and forth. He's good, evil, good, evil. It's just a rehash, and it just makes his character development feel pointless. I can understand he would probably change, I guess, due to the loss of Fluttershy, but he's been through so much to the point I feel like it would be nice to see Discord for once stick on what Fluttershy and the others have been teaching him. This is what really hit the nail on the coffin for me to lose interest in this show. I will not continue to watch it unless miraculously it improves or such, but I'm actually going to focus on better things that are worthwhile my time. So yeah, that was my issues. And again, I apologize for the rambling. I just wanted to get this off my chest because it's been a thing that's been in my head for quite a while, and to finally get it out there is a relief. I hope this resonates with other G4 fans, and if you are any G5 fans, I can respect your opinion. And I do not hate you for liking this series, and you are free to like whatever you want. It just isn't my cup of tea, and there's some areas that do make me really angry. So I hope y'all enjoyed hearing my rant for I don't know how many minutes. And this is the Folklore Wolf out. See you next time. Adios.